So, yep, my Florida Panthers are 2024 Stanley Cup champions. Um, I did post my reaction video about got my reaction of the Stanley Cup when we won the game. But for whatever reason, it got copyrighted. I don't know why, but it just did. So I deleted it. I was just like, if it's gonna get copyrighted, it's gonna get taken down anyway. But anyway, I mean, I just thought that was stupid. But anyway, yeah, I am so proud of this team. I mean, I couldn't be any happier. Like, I feel just as happy as I did when the Braves won the World Series and when the Georgia Bulldogs won back-to-back national championships, both of them. I mean, and mind you, these all happened within 4 years. And, I mean, that's amazing. And also, yeah, I did get a Stanley Cup shirt, Stanley Cup champs. Yeah, I mean, that was incredible to witness. Now, I remember I posted a video earlier after Game 6 where we lost. And I was like, oh my God, like, we lose this, we're going to be like this is going to be like the biggest joke. Like, this team's going to be the biggest joke in the NHL, all of pro hockey. That almost was the case, but what happened was this team came in clutch in Game 7. This team, like, we knew that we were going to get embarrassed. We knew we were going to be a poverty franchise and never be looked at the same again, not be taken seriously. We would have been looked at as a complete joke if we would have lost Game 7. And that was not the case, and I am so happy that that was not the case. I mean, that was a night to remember. I mean, if we would have lost that game, I would have, and I'm going to be honest with you, I would have wished that the Atlanta Thrashers would have never moved out of Atlanta or relocated to Winnipeg. No joke. I would have lost it. It would have been horrible. And so you may be asking yourself, well, how come you don't like the Winnipeg Jets? Well, it's simple. It's because I never grew up watching the Thrashers. So the thing is that when I was a kid, back years ago, when I lived in Atlanta, of course, I was, I think, in the first grade when they relocated. So, like, I never went to any Atlanta Thrashers games. I never went to watch them play and everything. I never saw them play on TV. I never, got to be a fan of them. And I don't know what it was, because, like, my family was just never into hockey when I was a kid. So all my family cared about was football, baseball, sometimes basketball. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I didn't get into hockey until, like, I got a bit older. Like, until I was about, I would say, like, I guess until, like, till high school. So that's when I picked my team. And, of course, I went with the Panthers because I was originally from Florida before I moved to Georgia. And many of you probably don't know that. And I do have family in South Florida. So, like, I had a connection there. So, and I just thought they were cool. And I made them my primary team. But the thing is, I remember this team like when I first started watching hockey, we used to suck. We used to be like bottom of the barrel in the NHL. Like I remember this team like at one time like lost like so many games, and I would see like teams like the Boston Bruins and the Tampa Bay Lightning and all them, Washington Capitals. I would see all these teams be really good, and I look and I see this team and I'm like, I wish this team actually was better. I wish we were winning. And you know, I never told anybody that they were my team. Because you know, hockey wasn't a big deal where I lived. So I grew up watching the Atlanta Falcons, the Atlanta Braves, the Atlanta Hawks, Georgia Bulldogs. I grew up with those teams. I didn't get into hockey until, like I said, later on. So that was when I like decided to pick my team. And I'm honestly glad I did, because now I'm being rewarded, and it feels so good to see this team win the Stanley Cup. This is something I've been waiting for a long time. Well, a while, but you know what I'm saying. But like, man, that was just, I was on my feet the entire time of that game. Like, man, it was awesome. Well, and I just, how do I say it? I mean, I remember last year when they played against Vegas, the Golden Knights, and they lost. I was like, are we ever going to recover from that loss? You know? And I was just sitting there to myself. I'm like, can we do it? Are we ever going to go back to the Stanley Cup? And we did it. We did it. I am so proud. I am so happy. I'm happy that the Braves won a World Series. I'm happy that the Georgia Bulldogs won back-to-back national championships in football. And I'm so happy and so glad that the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup. Proud to be a World Series champion. Proud to be a national champion back-to-back. And I'm proud to be a Stanley Cup champion. Feels amazing. And what I was going to say earlier was I almost thought this team was going to like be like the Atlanta Falcons. Like I was getting those vibes. I was getting like flashbacks of like 28-3. I was like, I did not want to have to go through that again, just to see another one of my teams blow it in the big series, big game, whatever. I couldn't do it. I would not have been able to take that. And we got through it. We got through it. I almost cried when we won that night. I was so happy. And when the Falcons lost that Super Bowl, Super Bowl 51, I remember that night. I was so devastated when they lost. Like, man, we were so close to that. And then the Georgia Bulldogs, they lost to Alabama a year later, and it just looked like this. It looked like there was no hope that I was going to witness any of my teams win the championship. I'm like, okay, y'all made the championships. Okay, Falcons were in the Super Bowl. Okay, Georgia Bulldogs were in the national championship. But they both didn't win. Like, seriously. And then of course the Braves and the Dogs, they both win championships. And then the Florida Panthers, they go into the Stanley Cup and they don't win. I'm like, okay, so it's the same thing again. Then we come back and then we win it. And I remember us sitting around, like, I remember when the Tampa Bay Lightning, when they won back-to-back Stanley Cup championships. I was just like, dang, I'm rooting for the much worse Florida team. You know, like, I was a bit jealous of them. I mean, I can't describe how happy I'm feeling right now. I mean, I'm just like, all those like losses from like back then, back when I was in middle school, of course, 28-3, which I'm still pissed about to this day. I know many Falcon fans are pissed about it, and still can't recover from it. I mean, I feel that way. But like, other than that, I just don't feel. I feel amazing. Like, I feel great. Like I can just block that out of my head just thinking about my other teams winning championships, and I just feel so happy. I feel amazing. Like, I am so proud. I'm so proud of my cats. Yep, and that's gonna do it for today. Subscribe, like this video, and I'm out.